Are you interested to work as a dropshipper using Shopify? Stick around because I'm going to be showing you how. Welcome guys to TechSpress. Welcome back. My name is Steven. I'm going to be showing you in today's tutorial how we can get started totally for free to making dropshipping using Shopify. So in this video, we're going to be discussing how we can get started with Shopify. Then I'm going to be showing you how we can choose the right theme for you. I'm going to be showing you the theme editor. Let's focus into how to add and edit sections. We're going to talk about fonts, color, customizing your actual store, adding products into your store, creating collections, adding collections listed to the item, multi-column, a few copywriting tips. They're going to talk about what is a section padding, feature collection, adding images with text section, footers, creating page, a few settings, how we can create shipping profiles in Shopify. We're going to talk about the brand settings, how we can add different policy pages totally for free and easy to do, how we can get access to a custom domain, and more important resources that we can discuss at the end of the actual video. So it's going to be a full complete tutorial from scratch for beginners. So let's just get started. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm now into the Shopify section. If you click down below into the link that I'm going to leave you down below in the description, you're going to see that you have the Let's Get Started. So which of this best describes you? What I want to do is to choose the option that says I am just starting. I'm going to scroll a little bit down and choose next. Now, this is not necessarily, this is totally optional, but you can do an online store. It's going to be asking you how would you like to sell. Since we're making some drop shipping, we wanted to focus into an online store and only an online store. If you wanted to do some much stuff like, for example, an existing website or a blog, you can enable it. If you wanted to sell those type of drop shipping into, let's say, Google, Amazon, eBay, you can enable those. And you can enable social media if you want to. Now, these three that are listed below are usually and commonly much more easier to make and receive some traffic into some drop shipping. You can create your own customizable online store, but if you are willing to, let's say, bring people directly into your store, what I can totally suggest to is to import stuff through your social media so you can get noticed as you're just getting started. So usually what I do in order to get started is just to enable the online store and the social media. We're not going to be focusing a lot into website and online marketing places for now. So let's go into next. Now, what do you plan to sell first? Now, in this case, what I want to do is to only focus into drop shipping products, right? So just enable these options. And let's go into next. So after that, it's going to be asking where will your business be located. Now, my computer is the region of the actual Mexico. You can change this into the United States if you wanted to, but you wanted to make sure that you're actually living in the right place that you enable into the country, because the drop shipping is going to be making, let's say that the application of Shopify is going to be providing you a few tips, a few tools that are only available into your specific country. So it's really, really important to choose the country you are actually currently living. So after that, let's go into next. Now, later on, it's going to be asking to choose an account. If you don't have an account, you can create your own totally for free. Now, while this is now being created, let's focus and let's try to define what is exactly dropshipping if you are not familiarized with this actual term. So in the words of Shopify, dropshipping is a retail fulfillment method where sellers list products on their website without keeping the inventory. When an order is received, the seller purchases the product from a third-party supplier who then ships it directly to the customer. The seller, in this case ourselves, we act as an intermediate between the supplier and the buyer. So basically what we are actually doing is to provide the products from a supplier to the client, and we're going to be earning a few commissions, or let's say they're going to be selling this stuff a little bit much more higher than we are actually selling stuff. So this is how the dropshipping actually works. If you wanted to check it out, how does the dropshipping works and much more about Shopify article, I'm going to leave you this article down below in the description so you can check this out. So now I'm going to just close this for now. And let's focus into the very first part of your Shopify store. So as you can see here, we are now into the actual dashboard. You can see that we have the setup guide, we have the set up your online store, we have the store settings, and the launched your online store. What we're going to be doing is now to follow a few steps in order to make some dropshipping stuff, and we can start selling actually today. So first of all, what I wanted to do before we can focus into this dropshipping stuff is to create your actual custom theme. If you focused here into the left part, you can see that it says online store. So I'm going to click here into online store. All right, so now as you can see, we have a custom theme. By default, you have this one called Dawn. This is a really great theme if you're willing to get started as a dropshipping stuff. What we're going to be doing today is to choose the theme library. So if you go into the theme library or go into the visit the theme store, you can see that we have a lot of themes that we can choose for our Shopify store. What I want to do is to try to look out for a free plan, so we don't have to pay a lot for that, because we don't want to focus a lot into our actual online store, but into the actual products that we're actually going to be willing to sell. So choose the option that says free. And now we have 12 themes that I can choose totally for free. So I have the Spotlight, I have the Refirst, I have the Ride, I have Taste. Choose the one that best suits for you. And you don't have to worry about if you liked it or not, because we can change this later. So let's focus, and I'm going to just actually leave it into the Dawn version. So whether you choose the one that best suits for you, if you go back into your stores, you can see that we have your current theme. Just make sure that you have the 3 dots and select the option that says published or preview. So now that we have our actual theme section here, you can click into customize. If you go directly into customize, this is the part where you wanted to enable all the elements of your actual store. For example, it says here my store, we have a catalog here, we have the header, we have the announcement bar, we have an image banner, featured products. So this is the part where you wanted to add all of these elements. But let me tell you guys that this is not the place where you wanted to create or add products, for example. This is just to make and customize your theme as you are just getting started. So before we dig into the customize of your actual store, of your theme editor, what I wanted to do, I'm going to be showing you what is exactly the section tool. If I wanted to edit, to add, or delete a section of my store, I can do this directly into sections. I click there, and as you can see, we have the header, the template, and the footer. Usually the template is like the body of your actual website. What is into your template and what will be, let's say, adding there. Into the header, usually we have the announcement bar and the actual header, which in this case is the menu bar. If I click into the header, I can see that the desktop logo position appears into the middle left, which in this case is in here. You can change this for top center, for example, and it's going to be looking like this. This is just to customize your store as you're getting started. Now here we do have the menu section where you can edit your main menu. If you have the home, catalog, contact, usually that's some basic stuff that you can just use for your store. But if you wanted to edit or add more stuff or delete stuff of your catalog, you can change this directly here into main menu. Or you can go into change and try to change the menu for another one. Usually if I click into main menu, this one should be bringing me into the navigation section of my online store. And in here, what I can do is to edit the menu items. Even I can edit the actual title. For example, I have the home, cataloged, and the context. Let's delete cataloged and let's change this for products. Or let's go for hats, accessories. That totally depends on what you're actually trying to sell. But you can just go and look out for hats. Or what I want to do is to actually just focus into products, apply changes. There we go, home, shop, and contact. If I hit into save, I'm going to go back. I hit into save once again and check out that my actual main menu has now been changed automatically. Home, shop, and the contact. Actually looking really great, right? So if you wanted to delete something that you don't want to see, let's say for example that I go back here into the template and I have a feature collection. I don't want to see the feature collection yet, so I can scroll all the way down and choose remove selection. So automatically the selection is now been deleted. So Usually what I do here into the image banner, I just leave this because this is the very first thing that the actual, let's say the customer sees into my actual website. So what I do is to try to select a really engaging image that can be helping to, let's say, drive some more traffic. Now, this is something that is really important before or after you choose your actual product of dropshipping. Now you go into theme settings. What we can do is to try to add our colors, our branding stuff, so it can feel like this is actually our website. So if I hit into logo, for example, I can create my very first logo, or I can explore some free themes. For example, let's say that I wanted to sell hats and I go for hats logo. And there you go. As you can see, we have a lot of images that we can choose. What I can suggest you is to try to create your own PNG file without a background, so you can use this as an actual logo. So I'm going to upload an image here, which in this case is actually this one. Check it out here. I do actually have my actual logo as a PNG file, and this one has no background. So it's going to be really useful just to see what is the actual importance of my actual stuff. So as you can see, I hit into save, and there we go. So I want to try to make my desktop logo with a little bit much more higher, like this. So now I have my logo into my actual store. It's actually looking great, right? So now let's try to make this a little bit more smaller. And now we have the actual favicon imaged. Now the favicon imaged is the logo that appears into the upper side. For example, this one is the favicon of Shopify. We are actually sure that we are actually into Shopify. If I go and let's go for facebook.com, you can see that we have the logo of Facebook. This is actually called the favicon. And to add your own, you just needed to focus it into favicon imaged. And in this case, I wanted to use exactly the same logo that I used for my actual logo of my store. So there we go. So now I'm going to focus into colors. Now here into colors, we have different schemes that we can choose totally for free. You can create your own if you want to, or you can focus into one that is, let's say, for example, already been added. For example, let's say that I have the scheme number 1. Now here into background, I usually leave this into white. And the background gradient, I choose no colors. But if you wanted to edit it, let's say for example that I wanted to go for colors like this, and the background gradient, I can choose something like this. So as you can see, it's making so much more elements as we're just editing our stuff. I can do something like this or a circle, and you can see how it's going to be looking, your actual changes. You can change the actual colors. For example, this one is a little bit more purple. I can change this for a little bit more, let's say, bluer, and there we go. So I'm going to try to choose the next color, which is the green one, and I change this for something much more like this. So what you can do is to try to find your own custom colors, because what I wanted to make sure is that this is an actual website that, let's say, is go according into my actual branding. So it's looking great so far. So just gonna try to leave this like that, and there we go. So now what I'm going to be doing here is to go a little bit back, and I can change the typography here. For example, let's say that I have the assistant regular, but I think that I can do something much better than that. So let's try to go for no Nido. And as you can see, I have different fonts that I can choose. Let's say that I have this one. I hit into select, and the font size scales. I'm going to try to make this a little bit more big enough, and there we go. Now, usually, speaking about the animation, speaking about the buttons, the inputs, collection cards, block cards, this is like just how it's going to be looking. But since we are actually using an actual template of the theme section, we just wanted to leave it like that because we have done actually the essentials for our latest store. So I'm going to hit now into save, and let's go actually back. Let's go into exit. So now that we have saved our actual store so far, what I want to do is to go into settings, into the left part. And here what I want to do now is to focus a little bit down. Let's go into brand. Now here into brand is going to be really important to, let's say, the essentials, the common everything is going to be appearing into our actual social medias. So let's go into a default logo. I already have uploaded my own. The colors, once again, remember that in this case we have something bluer and the contrasting color is something like this. Secondary color, what I do is to try to look out for something not that different that we've just created. And here into the cover, slogan, show description, social links you wanted to add as you're, let's say, doing your own stuff. For example, let's say that we have Facebook. I'm going to actually try to just add the Shopify Facebook, because in this case, what I just want to do is to make sure that the actual logo of Facebook appears into my actual website. So let's go now into save. Now into the right part, you can see that this is how it's going to be looking, the channel of our actual store. It looks actually really great so far. You can change this from square into circle, for example, and it's going to be changing a little bit more the view of our actual store. Now, if I go back into the editor of the theme, if you wanted to change the actual header, once I am here into header, you can see that we have changed the desktop, the menu, the drop down, the mega menu, and the drawer. Usually what everyone does is to choose the actual drop down, but check out what happens when we change this for mega menu. I click this, and automatically this actual menu can be changed. Let's go for always show separate line. I'm just gonna try to not leave like that, and check out how the mega menu actually looks. I can change the drawer button and the drop down. So usually there's like not so much stuff that you can change here, but I think it's gonna be looking great if you're just making some dropshipping website. So I just leave this into drop down, show separate line, and sticky. Let's go on scroll up, because I wanted to lose this into the on scroll up, right? So it's actually looking great. Now, once again, we have now see how we can edit the actual menu bar. So let's go back, and now I have the announcement bar. Into the very upper side, we can see that the announcement bar in this case has the welcome to our store. So usually this announcement bar is going to be helping to, let's say, add the latest discounts or the latest news that you have into your store. So let's say, for example, that we are just getting started selling just a few products. So let's say that receive, I can add received, or let's say get your first 35% discount. There you go. So usually what I do here into the link is to add products and choose all products. There we go. So now I go a little bit back, and I can add another announcement bar if I want to. But in this case, I'm going to just leave this like that. Now this image that actually works as a banner, what I do is to choose my own custom image. If you're using or you're just creating some dropshipping image, what you want to do is to make sure that you already know how we can actually, or what you're going to be actually sell into this product. In this case, let's say, for example, that I wanted to focus into clothing. So what I do is to choose explore free images. And then let's go and scroll a little bit down. Let's go into men and fashions, for example. And as you can see, I have a lot of images that I can choose. So let's say that I wanted to enable something catchier and interesting. Let's say, for example, this one. So as you can see now, it's having a little bit much more interesting our actual website. So usually I'm just gonna hit now into select or into OK. It totally depends on what you're actually trying to sell, and hitting to select. As you are editing or choosing a right banner, you can see that sometimes you might want to change the actual colors or the typography of your actual sections of your actual store. So usually what we're actually doing here is to just focus into, let's say, scheme number 4. And we have the actual background, or just focus into, let's say, something like this. And the banner actually gradient, I'm just going to just leave this or delete it, because actually I don't kind of like the gradient. So what I try to do here is to try to do something as easier as I can, because what I want to do is to attract people to something easy and concrete. I don't want to add a lot of stuff, because sometimes it's a lot of saturation of images, saturation of colors, saturations of typographies and stuff. So people actually at the end of the day, they don't understand what we're actually selling. So I wanted to do something precise, easy, and fast, right? So just leave this into, in this case, I'm going to just leave this into a white background, kind of like this so far. So I'm going to just go back. Remember to save this every time you make an edit or a change. You want it to save every time. Let's go into sections. Let's go back. And now, as you can see, I can go into shop, for example, and there's no product found, use your favorite filters or remove all. This is the part where I wanted to start to look out for the best product for dropshipping. If I go back into exit, once I make sure that I have saved everything so far, what I want to do is to focus now into applications. Now into applications, we can go directly into the app section, into the upper side as a search bar, or I can go into apps and sales channel and go for Shopify App Store. Now this Shopify App Store is going to bring us a lot, but truly a lot of applications that we can choose in order to get started. Let's say to customize and better understand your actual people into your Shopify, into your dropshipping store. What I want to be doing here is to focus into drop shipping, and it's going to be showing us a lot of actual applications that we can use to add some drop shipping. In this case, what I wanted to do is to look out for CJ Dropshipping. This one is a dropshipper supplier that works with the actual AliExpress. So I'm going to hit into install, and it's not that hard to make installations of different applications. Just hit into install applications into the upper side. And as you can see, we are now successfully done with this. This one actually is going to be bringing us into the CJ Dropshipping application. And what I wanted to do is to create my very first account into a CJ. So in this case, I already have an account here into CJ. So what I just need to do is to try to authorize this one. If you don't have an account to CJ Dropshipping, you just have to provide an email as well as a passcode, verify that email, and you're actually in. And as you can see, we are now inside the CJ Dropshipping. Now, if I go into the authorizations, you can choose the option that says Shopify. By default, our Shopify store should be the authorization already been enabled into the upper side. You wanted to make sure that the name of your store appears in here, non-public store name, and the one that says email permissioned, auto-synced, enabled. This one is going to be making much more easier to import products directly into your Shopify store. Now, if you don't know what is the name of your store, you can go back in here. Let's go into your dashboard of Shopify, and into the upper side, you can see that we have the store / and in this case, it says EF7856. So this number, I needed to copy it and make sure that it's going to appear in here. So as you can see, I don't have any store right now, so I can go into add my store, authorize, and the authorization is now being successed. So now in this case, what I wanted to do is to click into the dropshipping logo, and this one should be bringing us into all the categories, all the products that we can just use to get started. In this case, I already know what I want to use. I already know what kind of products I wanted to add into my store. So I'm going to focus into jewelry and watches. And here, as you can see, we have lots of products that we can choose. And in this case, into down in here is going to be appearing the actual price of the products. What is the actual cost of it? And then later on, you can implement more stuff. Now, in this case, I have a lot of products. What I wanted to do is to try to filter, because I wanted to try to, in this case, sell stuff not only for, let's go for United States, but I wanted to sell products only for men. Now in this case, I wanted to focus with people only with men from the 18 to 35 years old. If you wanted to sell stuff from all the genders, that's totally optional, that's totally up to you. But in this case, I have focused into what exactly I wanted to add. Now what I want to do is to hit into the add to queue to all the products that I really am interested to add directly into my store. Now, before you go nuts and add all the products as you can, what I want to make sure is that I actually add products that are really great products and have really great reviews. So it's going to be pretty annoying, but what I can totally suggest you is to try to select the products, and you want to make sure that this product is actually really great. Now in this case, as you can see, we have this quality supplier. This one has item as described 4 stars, great service, shipping speed 4 stars, contact supplier. And what I wanted to do is to scroll a little bit down, estimated processing times, the SPU. You wanted to actually make sure that these guys really are making great sales. They have really strong and great products, because this is what we're actually trying to look for. We wanted to sell products that are actually looking great. We just don't want to earn money by selling products that they actually don't work, right? So really, really important. Once you do all of it with all the products you wanted to add to, let's say, to sell into your actual online store, now what I want to be proceeding to do is to go directly into the upper side that says QE. So I click into QE, and now as you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 products that I can sell into my store. So usually what I do is to select all of them and go into manual listing, or you can go into auto listing. Now before you click into auto listing, you want to make sure that none of the items into the QE are into our store before submitting. So in this case, this is the very first time we do this, so let's go into auto listing. Now as you can see, we have the normal listing or the auto listing. If you choose the normal listing, you can go into your price, please enter, and we have the shipping cost excluded. If you don't know what is the actual price you wanted to charge for, you can always go for recommended listing price. Now the recommended listing price is a actual price that CJ recommends to you, but what I do actually is to do this one by one. For example, let's go for the very first one. Let's go into list now. Make sure that your store appears into the upper side. This one is EF3, EF3. Looking great. So here I have the product type. Usually what I do, just leave it like that. The vendor should be ourselves. And now here, as you can see, this is the very important part. Now this product cost $1 plus the shipping fee plus the survey fee. At the end of the sale, let's say for example, this one cost us $3. So that means that if I sell this product for $5, I'm going to be earning, let's say, not a lot of money, maybe $2 tops. So what you want to make sure is that you have the actual price already been added there. So I hit now into listed now. In this case, the product type is jewelry. Now please wait, as this might take a few minutes. Usually this one actually takes less than 20 seconds. So what I do now is to go a little bit back, and I wanted to do exactly the same thing with the rest of the products. So usually what I do after I linked or synced one product, let's say for example that I choose this one that says list now. Now I scroll a little bit down and I do exactly the same thing. If there's a lot of products actually with a lot of variants, what you can do is to go here into price changes and choose recommended listing price. Now you can see that the your shipping price $15 is a lot of money. If you're okay with that, just get into list now. If you think that you can change the prices or make this a little bit more cheap or expensive, that's totally optional. What I can totally suggest you is try not to sell stuff too high, because we are just getting started and we don't want to annoy people with a really high price. We're just getting started, so we wanted to guarantee people that we are actually legit and we're selling great products. So if this one actually costs $2, I can sell this for $3 or $4. Maybe my income is not going to be that high, but I'm going to be having two valuable customers that later on they can leave a review into my actual website, and then I can drive some more traffic and hire a little bit more my actual prices. So now I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the rest of the products, having the recommended listing price. And once you see that the listing is now been successful, I can go a little bit back into my Shopify. Let's go into products. And as you can see, I do have now 2 products added automatically. And as you can see, it says inventory not tracked, or we have a lot of products in store in stocked for 2 variants. So what happens here is what the actual CG dropshipping do is that they actually let us sell their products into our store. So for them, it's going to be costing $2, but if we sell this product for $3, they're going to be taking $2 from us, and we're going to be getting only $1 for each sale. this is how dropshipping actually works. We are not buying any product, but we're selling products from other suppliers, and we're going to be selling them as they are actually our own. So it's actually working the dropshipping, and the best part is that we don't have to invest into any kind of stuff, but only into the Shopify website. So now I have all the products that I wanted to list them. I'm going to make sure that the 4 items are listed automatically. Usually what I do now is to go back, I will load my page, and then what I want to do, of course, is to make sure that I have a really strong name of my products. So as you can see, we have this one that says Asgard crafted circular horned rune pendant chain. So this is something really different. So I'm going to try to change this for Asgard crafted chain, and actually it looks great. So let's go here into save, and what you can do is try to do exactly the same thing with your products. So I click this and Asgard crafted, let's go for Bell's ring, for example. So make sure that you have a strong, easy, and short title for all your products. You don't want to have something really large, like for example, Asgard crafted, handed crafted, helmet with terror, something like that. So I'm just gonna leave this like this. Asgard crafted. Let's go into stainless. So now, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 products that I can sell into my store. So I have just created my very 4 products for my dropshipping stuff. Now, how I can add this into my actual website? Well, first of all, what I want to do is to focus into adding my first collection. Now, a collection can be helping us to, let's say, try to move one stuff. Let's say that I wanted to sell clothing stuff. So I can sell accessories, I can sell shoes, I can sell hats, I can sell rings. So this is why I wanted to create collections, because I wanted to filter them into my actual website. So usually what I do is to go into products, then into collections, and by default we'd have the home page, but I wanted to create my own. So I'm going to go into create collection, and let's assume that I actually have more stuff, more collection to my product. So here what I wanted to do is to go here, title, and let's go for crafting, or let's go for Asgard collection, and there we go. So I'm just going to go here into collection type, hit into manual, and my collection should now be created automatically. Now here into products, what I do is to choose browse my product and choose, in this case, 3 of them, because the 3 of this one actually comes from Asgard. Let's go into add, and let's go now into back, of course, and now I have my Asgard collection. I can create a new collection here, and let's go brand new, or let's say that I have summer sales, or you can do whatever you wanted to, or let's go for under $5 or under $3, for example. I'm gonna go under 5 actually, and hit now into save. I just want to make sure that the actual text here appears as manual, and in this case the product I wanted to add is this one. Let's go into add, and let's go back. So my collection is now being created. So let's try to add this collection into our store. Into the left part you can see online store. Now what I want to do is to go back into customize, where we're actually at, and then what I wanted to do is to make sure that we are into the shop section. And here, as you can see, by default all my product has now been added automatically. So what you can do is to, let's say, go into product grid, and I'm going to just hide this, and here into the template I can create add section, and whether you wanted to add a feature collection, feature product, a collection list, or whatever. Usually what I do is to go into collection list first, so people can check out what do we have to sell here. So into collection list I click here into collection, and let's go for Asgard collection, and the second one, which is actually this one, let's go into select collection, and let's go on the under $5. I hit into select. I didn't select this one back, so I just wanted to make sure that we have added this correctly. And this new collection, I just remove this block because I don't want her to see actually this one. So there we go. You can choose to adapt to the image, to use this in a square. Number of columns, go for only 2 of them, and actually it looks great. So now what I wanted to do is to make sure that I have the right image and the right title for my collections. So usually what I do once, let's say someone clicked into this Asgard collection, they have these collections here. So I'm going to go here and add Asgard collections. I'm going to try to delete this section, and into Asgard collection, I'm going to go into add a new section, feature product or feature collection. And here in this case, what I do is just to choose my Asgard collection. So let's go into select collection, Asgard collection, hit into select, and there we go. It actually looks great. So make sure you save this products, and we are actually done here. So now what I do is to go back into home, and usually what I do is to add a featured product. So let's say that I'm just getting started, yes, but maybe I wanted to add one product, one featured product, so people can see, have just like a sample of what I'm actually selling, what I am actually selling. So I'm gonna go into add my blog or add a new section and focus into featured product. So the featured product in here should be, let's go for select product. Let's go for the third one actually. There we go. So let's hit into select, and you can see that automatically all of these elements from the size, the price, the quantity, add to cart, bias now were added automatically by the CJ dropshipping, and the images as well. So I'm gonna hit now into save, and we're done. Now, a few tips that I can give you for copywriting into your actual Shopify is to use, for example, ChatGPT. Now, here into the ChatGPT, usually what I do is to use this to adding a description, a short description, something truly easy that can be helping me to, let's say, focus into what it truly matters, that is controlling my actual website rather than focused only into the product. So let's say, for example, they have this Asgard crafted chain, or I can go into my online store, and I wanted to talk about my actual store. So let's go into customize that we're actually before, and here browse our latest product. Let's say that I wanted to go a little bit down, and here I wanted to add a new block of text. So here I wanted to create something for my customers. So if you don't know what to say, let's say, for example, here into ChatGPT, let's say that you can go for, I have a website focused, and let's go for help me create a strong long slogan. Now the artificial challenge is going to be creating something, for example, timeless elegance crafted for him. There we go. So if you kind of liked it, you can copy it. Let's go back in here. I'm going to paste it, and there we go. Actually looks great. You can change this to edit as a uppercase, as a subtitle, or part of the body of your actual image. So if you kind of like this, hit now into save. Now if you see here, I'm gonna have just like a preview of how it's gonna be looking my actual website. So as you can see, so far it's actually looking great. If you wanted to change the section padding on Shopify, what is the actual section padding is that I can actually change the, let's say, the space between this part and this part, and the right and the left part of my actual website. If you wanted to change or delete that, I can go back into my online store here. Let's go back into the theme settings, and usually what I do is to edit this directly into the code editor. So if you are trying to look out for a section padding that can be helping you to, let's say, add or delete more space between stuff, I can go back into exit, and instead of going with customize, I can go with the three dots and look out for edit the code. Now inside edit code, what you can do is to try to look for the theme liquid. Now into theme liquid, what I do is to try to look out for the file. So I want to go into, let's say, for example, I have the home, and a little bit down here from the browse our latest product between this and this. So I have now the reference. I go back, and let's focus here into sections. Now here into section, I have the announcement bar, image banner, which has actually this one. So you can just delete and add the maximum weight, for example. In this case, I am not going to be moving absolutely anything because I actually have something looking really, really great. Just in case you wanted to edit your stuff, you wanted to, let's say, make some experimentations here. What you can do, just in case that you think that just in case that you have a few stuff that you have done, let's say, wrong, duplicate my current theme. And once I duplicate that theme, I can now do whatever I want to. And just in case you wanted to go back into the original one, you can always go back into this one because this one is not duplicated. So copy of done. This is, let's say, for example, some experimental stuff. And this one is the one that we had just created for the very first time. Now let's add a new image with some text selection here. So I'm going to go here into shop section. And I have the feature collection, right? So instead of going with the collection banner, I'm going to go and try to look out for something. Let's go here into add section. I have the read text, but first I'm going to go for image with text here. So there you go. I'm going to click here, explore the for images. I'm going to go for men's fashion, for example, and I click this one, and there we go. Now I click here into the image with text, and let's go for choose your accessory. And here I'm going to click into browse our latest products that we have for you so far. Now I'm going to scroll down, and as you can see, we have the footer section. Now into the footer, we have something really interesting. You can try to edit this as we are moving on. For example, I do have the subscribe to our email, and here have the method that we accept into our actual website. So usually what I do is to just leave this like that. But if you wanted to, let's say, for example, enable some policy links, for example, or the language editor selector, you can enable all of this directly into your footer section. So usually we have the email signed up and the color schemed. In this case, I'm going to try to change this for the number 3 or number 4 because I wanted to go for something much more easier. There we go. So actually looking really great. You can add more stuff as you are moving on. For example, here into footer, I'm going to hit into add section or add a new block, and I can go for brand information, a new image, text, menu, whatever. So I can click here into heading, for example, and here let's go for the best products, for example, show collection information, store details, and brand content to your customers. Something really easy to add into your actual section. Now I'm going to hit into save. And let's say, for example, that now I wanted to add a new page in here. So I wanted to, let's say, enable the FAQ section, but I don't have this section, this page, right? So you can go here into header, go into the main menu. And usually what I do is to create my new menu items. But before you wanted to add a new item to your menu, you wanted to add a page to the actual item of your menu. So let's go here into pages. And for example, let's go and to add a page, I click here and let's go for FAQ. And content, let's go for generate text. Let's go for frequently asked questions. Generate text. This is some artificial intelligence stuff that was generated for us, created by Shopify, that can be helping you to do whatever you want, and something really easy. Let's say, for example, frequently asked questions about what we're actually creating. For example, what kind of jewelry do you store specialized in? What materials are your jewelry pieces made of? Do you offer international shipping? So this is something really easy and strong advice if you wanted to add those. So let's go here into visible, hit now into save. And if I wanted to see this directly into my store, I wanted to add this into my navigation bar. So let's go here into navigation. And I have the main menu, for example, add menu item. And here the name of how it should be appearing into the menu. Let's go for FAQ. And what should be sending us this into, let's go into pages, FAQ, hit into add, and save the menu. So in order to make sure this is actually working, let's go for reload the page, and here have the FAQ section. If I clicked in here, you should see that my actual new page that we have created is actually working here so far. Now, if I wanted to create, let's say, for example, some policies, information, shipping policies, returns, terms of use, and all of that, the great tool that Shopify has to offer to us is that they can automatically generate this into the settings section. So let's go here into settings. and I'm going to focus now in here where it says the policies. Now here into policies, I have the store policies, I have return policies, privacy policies, terms of service, shipping policies, contact information. And if you don't know how to get started, you can always choose the create from template. And there we go. So as you can see, a template is going to be helping us to add all the information, professional stuff. So what you just need to do is just to check it out here, how it's going to be looking, the termination, the entire agreement, disclaimer of guarantees. Check it out, all of the elements that was generated for you. Or what you can do is to ask the ChatGPT to generate something for you. So let's say, for example, I need to create a shipping policy for my store where I do not accept refunds, for example, about my jewelry store, since we do not have a physical store. You just hit into enter, and now you can see that we have a clear and concise refund policy. Processing time: all orders are processed within 1 free business day. Shipping rates, customs, damages, refund policies. If you kind of like what you're seeing here, just go and copy it and paste it into the shipping policy, for example, like this. So it is actually working great. The privacy policy and the return and refund policy, it actually looks great. So if you're okay with that, just hit into save. And there we go. The policies are actually looking great thanks to the template that were generated for us. Now that we are here into the settings, let's focus into shipping and delivery. Here into shipping and delivery, what you can do is to customize and generate shipping rates. In this case, they were generated 2 different rates as we are having our products automatically added. For example, the shipping originals, the shipping zones, economy, the condition, the transit time, the actual price, and the international mode. So all of these were added automatically by and for the actual dropshipping supplier, which in this case, the CJ Dropshipping. So usually if you wanted to add more stuff, you can go here into add rate. And let's say, for example, that I wanted to set up my own rates or set up a carrier or application to calculate rates. For example, UPS ground, future services, and the percentage, let's go for 20%. If you don't know anything about that, you don't have to worry because the dropshipper suppliers of CA Dropshipping actually does it by itself. So usually I don't have it to get started with a general profile. But if you wanted to add your own, you can actually do it. I'm going to go back into shipping and delivery. I can create a new profile. And now here, let's say that I have some fragile products. And now I have the products. Let's go, for example, add this product. I have the Scout crafted chain and the shipping origins. Let's go into create my zone. Let's go into Australia and Canada, for example. I hit now into done, the zone name. Let's go and look out for international. Hit into done. And let's go into save. And my profile of the shipping zones are now being generated automatically. But there's actually no rate available here because I don't add anything into this profile and there's no actual difference so far. Now let's focus into payments into the upper side. Into payments, what you can do is to activate the Shopify payments. Now, this is going to be really easy to receive your money, to better check out conversions, to easy charge back, and to pay us in cash flow tracking. But sometimes there are a few countries that don't allow this kind of Shopify payments. So if this is the case for you, you don't have to worry about it because what we can do is try to scroll a little bit down and to choose add payment method. So you can do this automatically or manually. So I can go here into chat, search by payment method. And what I wanted to do is to select the elements that I wanted to, let's say, enable. For example, in this case, I have Kakao Pay, have Afterpay, I can receive the Visa, MasterCard, and whatever. So it's going to be showing me providers that can be helping me to receive that money. For example, Ping Pong, the checkout, I have the Asia Bell, I have FasterPay, Waxo, and Paywall, and much more. So hit into the element that best suits for your country, and then later on what you want to do is to go into activate. You can even choose Amazon Pay and PayPal. That totally depends on what you're actually trying to enable. After you hit into activate, just create your email account, add your banking account. Really easy. And check it out. Just wanted to make sure that the transaction fees are truly low, because you don't want it to, let's say, get retailed money once you are selling stuff here, especially speaking about dropshipping. And lastly, but not less important, is to try to figure out how we can focus into our own custom domain. If I click here into domains, you can see that we have this domain that says ef7856.myshopify.com. Usually what you can do is to create a new shopify.com domain, or you can buy a new domain. So if I click here, let's say for example that my store is called MKH Clothes. And now, as you can see, have the mkhclothes.com available, and this one actually comes from $15 per year. So if you're okay with this actual price, you can hit into buy domain. And here, as you can see, this is not refundable purchase, so you want to make sure they have a really strong price in here. But it is actually looking great so far. So having a strong domain into your actual store is going to be really useful and much faster to, let's say, drive more engagement and confidence to people. If you think that you can find something more cheaper, you can always go into a new tab. Let's go for namecheap.com. Now here into Namecheap, what you can do is to try to look, let's say for example, MKH Clothes. I hit into search. And now, as you can see, we have the suggested results. For example, I do have mkhclothes.com, and as you can see, this one actually comes into only $10 per year, and the retail is $13 per year. So this one actually goes with 55 with new come 598, rather than going here directly into Shopify. So you wanted to make sure that you find the right tool for you, and you don't have to pay like a lot for that. At the end of the day, it's exactly the same domain. It doesn't matter where you bought it, but where you're actually staying at. So after that, I'm going to just close this one. And I just wanted to make sure that my actual online store is actually working. So let's focus now into view your store. And as you can see, now we have the home section, browse our latest products. You can focus into add to cart, or you can just create a demo payment stub just to make sure that it's actually working so far. So I can go here into the three dots. So lastly, I just want to make sure that my online store has no password protected. If you're using a trial mode, it's going to be really great to help you to get started, to have everything under control, but you need to pick a plan in order to delete this actual passcode so people can enter with no problem into your actual website. Now you can choose whatever plan you are willing to. For the next first month, you're going to be paying only $1. So I'm going to leave you the link down below in the description once again, so you can get started with those plans, with those benefits totally for only $1. Is really great. So now we have covered absolutely anything in order to get started with dropshipping inside Shopify. You know, how an actual website, we can connect into different places later on, but this is something really easy in order to get started to making some dropshipping and to understand how does the actual work or the workflow of dropshipping works inside of Shopify, and the interaction between the dropshipper supplier and the actual buyer. In this case, in ourselves, we actually work as the intermediate. Before I leave, I wanted to make sure that you have the important resources to make sure that's going to be helping you incentivize to, let's say, drive some more traffic. Number one is to have the Google and YouTube. This one is a great application that can be helping you to, let's say, add stuff directly into Google, directly into selling into YouTube, into as an online store directly, of course. And check it out. Actually, it has a lot of stuff that you can add directly into Google. For example, you have Google Analytics, you have Google Tracking Center, and showing your products directly into Google for free is a really great tool. Now, the second tool that I can totally suggest you to have this directly into your Shopify store. I'm going to hit into applications, and let's go into Meta. Now here, this actual Meta section can be helping you once again to do the same thing, but directly into Instagram as well into Facebook. You can create your own ads, you can create much more stuff directly, and these are truly helpful to drive some much traffic directly into your actual website. And lastly, I'm going to go here once again into my applications. And what I want to do is to add MailChimp. Now, MailChimp is an email marketing that can be helping you to create some automations between people who come directly into Shopify and your actual website. Let's say, for example, someone is willing to buy a product into your store, but then at the end of the day, they just don't buy it for whatever reason. And 30 seconds later, you can tell MailChimp to create or to send an actual email directly to that people that can be helping it, let's say, for example, to add a discount code or to incentivize people to buy the product directly once they, let's say, drop off their actual purchase step. And as a plus, I can give you Judge.me. Now, Judge.me is going to be helping you to add the reviews of your products directly into your actual website. You don't have to pay absolutely anyone. You can create manual stuff. You can add people there. You can, let's say, ask your friends or your family to add really engaging reviews directly into your products, and you can manually add those directly into your actual store. So those are a few tips that I can give you to make or level or boost a little bit more to your actual online store, speaking about dropshipping. So hopefully guys, it was a very interesting video for you. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more great tools of how you can get started into dropshipping, how you can use Shopify to better understand more stuff. You can talk about blogs, online stuff, marketing, and so much more. You can check more videos about this directly into our channel here into YouTube. So don't forget to check that out below into the description. Thank you so much for watching the video guys. See you next time.